Good evening, Acts on This TV Nation. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. I can see people now on Facebook have joined. I can see people on Twitter and on LinkedIn as well. It took me a little minute to figure out Facebook again tonight because they have literally changed things up again. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, if you're watching, because I know you tune into these live broadcasts because you really want to get an acting career, you want to forget your billionaire lifestyle of Facebook, please sort out your live stuff on the back end. It'd make my life a lot easier. Linda, how you doing? Hope you're well. Lorraine, how you doing? Hope everybody is good. Ahmad's now here as well. Dougal, Sandra, I said hello to before. Liam, Joe, Kerry-Ann. Thanks for joining us. How's everybody's week been? Have you all had a good Monday? As we say every single week, anything could happen this week. This could be the week you land the job that changes your freaking life. And hopefully some content I'm going to play out for you tonight will help you along the way to achieving that. We had an absolutely, and let me know in the comments if you were there, cracking absolute fire session for members of actsonthis.tv last Thursday evening with one of the biggest casting directors in TV, basically. Mr. Andy Morgan has been casting top TV shows for the last 20 years. And we're talking like massive stuff as well, like going right back in the day to stuff like Luther. Kind of put Idris Elba on the map, right up until, he's casting stuff literally. He's got 3 projects on the go right now. One for a very well-known streaming service that he couldn't really mention last Thursday, but he's been casting loads of big stuff recently. Manhunt on ITV starring Martin Clunes, Flesh and Blood, loads of big shows. But we had him on Thursday night. I'll take you over to actsonthis.tv now, and I'll just show you. If you missed it, what you missed, and I'm going to be playing out some clips tonight, whether you remember or not, you'll benefit, to just highlight some of the stuff. The guy just kept dropping knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. Here we go. This is what it's called here: Truth, Honesty, and Authenticity, with top TV casting director Andy Morgan. They were his 3 things really that he talks about a lot within this broadcast. It was a live Zoom session that we did. And that just sort of like runs throughout his entire ethos of casting, what he wants from actors, what he wants from self-tapes, what he needs from auditions, what he needs from you when you're on set and you're actually doing the job. It was just an incredible session. If you missed it, if you go to actsonthis.tv, click into the preview section. That's what you're seeing now. And you can watch a little trailer. A little mashup of just some of the things that you missed. If you want to watch the full 2-hour mastermind session, then get yourself a membership to actsonthis.tv. You'll get access to that, and you'll get invites to these sessions that we do every single week. If you are a current member, dive into your members area, and you will see the full 2-hour and whatever it was in our latest 5 features there. It was, what was it? It was an hour and 55, hour 55. There you go. But yeah, nearly 2 hours. An incredible session. Let me know if you were there. Let me know in the chat now what you thought of it. I have had emails from people saying it was the best session that they've ever been on. I think what was really nice about it is hearing someone of Andy's level just cut through all the bullshit and just again, stressing the importance of actors taking their careers into their own hands, not relying on their agents, reaching out to casting directors like Andy. You're going to see him in a minute talking about reaching out to casting directors and why there should be no casting directors in this industry who should not expect unsolicited emails. He's like, we are only as good as the actors that we know. And still, I see people, in this community to a certain extent, outside of this community, pussyfooting around, not really having enough confidence to reach out to people to say, hey, listen, I exist. You should know me. These are the reasons, like Aisha Bywater said on a session recently, these are the reasons why I'm a wicked person that you should just know. Getting their shop window together, as Andy coined it, in terms of your spotlight profile, your show reel, not worrying that your show reel might not be of broadcast, full of broadcast material. Andy talks a lot in this session about the use of iPhones and how he's seen some absolutely extraordinary sessions from actors sat at their kitchen table doing self-tapes or just, putting stuff on camera. He's just an awesome, awesome guy. Andy was top, says Emma. Get your shop window out there. Yeah, that's what he kept saying, isn't it? It's all about your shop window. Honesty, truth, authenticity. Get your shop window sorted out. All right, Rich is here from the other side of the pond. Hope you're well, mate. But yeah, he was just absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to play 3 clips. Alicia, if you've not seen this, 'cause I don't know, were you on it, Alicia? I can't remember if you said you were someone who was catching up on it. I can't remember. But I'm going to play 3 clips. I've chosen 3 clips that we put together that even if you are not a member and you've not seen the full thing, I still want to just give people value. I do highly recommend you become a member of the community, though. It's blowing up at the moment, and we've got incredible people coming up over the next few weeks. I'm going to first of all play a clip that was really the question that everybody just wants to know the answer to every time they see anything to do with the casting director, which is, how do I get on your radar? How do I get in the room with you? How do I make you aware I exist? How do I get self-tapes? How do I end up getting auditions from you? And this is, I couldn't really put it any clearer, a 2-minute clip on how exactly from the horse's mouth, how you get onto Andy Morgan's casting radar so you can be seen ultimately for some of the biggest shows in the world. Here it is. Enjoy. What are potential ways to pique your interest without being a stalker and just sort of like overbearing and doing your head in, really?
Before you reach out to anyone, then you have to make sure that your shop window is in pretty tip-top condition, and the chances are at this point your shop window is your spotlight page.
Yeah.
And you have to think of your spotlight page in terms of someone looking at it for the very first time, not knowing you, never having met you. So do your photographs look like you? Are they 15 years old? Have they been through Photoshop 3,000 times? All I want from a photograph is I want it to look like the actor. My personal preference is for playing age to be within a 5-year bracket. Make sure it's clear on there what your native dialect is. Don't put 5 native dialects, because then I don't know who you are. Gone are the days when actors could only have a show reel if they had material that had been transmitted on television. We have things called iPhones now, and I've seen actors do extraordinary pieces of work in their kitchen. And I would say to actors, never, ever, ever put anything up, any tape up on your spotlight page that you are not anything other than jumping up and down about. You only want us to see you at your best, especially if it's an introduction. This is how you get on people's radars. You mail us.
Yep.
And any casting director who says they don't want unsolicited stuff, we are only as good as the actors that we know.
Boom! Get your membership if you want to watch the full hour and 55 of candid talk, just like that. Actonthis.tv. I love it where he just goes, any casting director who should not expect unsolicited mail, just throws in the bird. Casting directors really are only as good as the actors that they know, and it is your job to make sure that they know you are. So many people, this is just the theme of webinars over the last 12 months. Still, so many actors are apologising for their existence. Like, I'm really sorry I want to be successful. I'm really sorry I'd like a shot at an audition. I'm really sorry to email you or, have any kind of correspondence with you. People have got to stop apologising. But, obviously, you've got to have your shit together. So that's what he's talking about, your shop window there. Headshots, it's all so simple, isn't it? We talk about it all the time, but still, do you know what? Just to be completely brutal, I'm still seeing people make mistakes with their headshot and particularly their show reel, even after people have even been on sometimes the 3-hour show reel surgeries that me and Chris Stone do, and I'm still seeing people go, right, here's a new edit of my reel, what do you think? And I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't really know what to say to you, because it's like you've ignored everything that I've spoke about for the last 3 years. I'm not saying everything that I say or Chris says is right, but there's some fundamentals that do make your shop window better. and more effective when it comes to your reel that we go through in the show reel surgeries. And I'm going to do another one with Chris soon. But it's definitely worth people going back and watching those if you haven't, because there's just some really effective things when it comes to simple things like literally the length of the reel, how you start your reel. I'm still seeing people start their reels with just their name, no headshot, and then they're opening on scenes that I'll have multiple people in it, and I'm like, no one knows initially when you start watching that reel whose reel it is. Might say Joe Davis, don't know who that is, by the way, made up that name, but I don't know if Joe Davis, if it's J-O, is a boy, is a girl. I don't know which person, if it's got 3 lads in the scene or 3 girls in the scene when it starts. I don't know who I'm looking out for. Still seeing people make reels that are over 3 minutes long, so you can't put them up on Twitter and that sort of stuff. It's interesting, but yeah, headshot. Obviously, like Andy says, let's not Photoshop headshots. Make sure that they are relevant. You might have looked great 3 or 4 years ago, and you want to hold on to your youth, because I know I do. Now I'm knocking on the door of 40, but I can't have a headshot that's 4 years old, because as much as I want to think I look like I did 4 years ago, there's going to be subtle differences there. Might have the little odd bit more grey hair now and stuff. I don't know. The odd wrinkle more than I used to have. Headshots, let's not put them through Photoshop. Let's not have them dead old. What else do you say? Their playing age. So many people have their playing age as 10 years when they want to work in film and TV. You can't be playing age 30 to 45, 30 to 40, 40 to, I don't know, maybe 40 to, I don't even know, can you have 40 to 50? I've seen some people literally do 16 to 30, and I'm like, it's bullshit. You can't get away with that. That's just not true. Theatre, maybe it can expand out because of makeup and wigs and costume, and you're miles away, but when a camera's 3 inches from your face for an extreme close-up in a TV drama, then, well, not 3 inches, that'd be ridiculous, but like a foot away from your head, you can't have a 10-year playing age or a 15-year playing age. So I agree with Andy on the 5-year playing age. Dialects, don't lie about dialects. See people do that quite a lot as well. They put 55 accents down as super proficient on Spotlight. Don't think that can possibly be true. And showreel, though, when we're talking about showreel, yeah, although there are things like I mentioned a second ago, I think can make a showreel way more effective. Doesn't mean that you have to get too hung up on it, worry too much about stuff not being perfect. Like Andy says there, it's very obvious, isn't it, when you watch a clip, regardless of whether it was shot at someone's house on a self-tape or with a great budget. It's still obvious when someone can act or not. You can definitely polish a turd if you are shooting something on a fantastic camera, and you can add all the music and the locations and costume and all that sort of stuff in post-production. You can't hide behind a self-tape nearly as much, but it's still obvious when someone's good and when someone isn't. So don't get super hung up on your footage, going, it's not been on TV, so that means I must be shit, or it's not gonna look good. I watched a self-tape on Twitter about a week ago. One of the most captivating things I've ever watched. I mean, ever, full stop. Of a girl. I think it was a classical piece as well, and I don't even like classical stuff at all. Really don't. It was shot over the summer last year. I think it was like a year old, but it had resurfaced on Twitter. Just like captivating, absolutely captivating. So yeah, if you're good, you're good. Let's have a look. Doco's back. All right, Doco, where have you been? Not seen you on one of these live broadcasts for a little while. My playing is 18 to 25, says Indra. I mean, 7 years. We could probably let you off with that. Brendan's going. Oh, Brendan, he's got a wide playing age here. I play 45 to 55, but I'm 61 this year. Brendan, but you ended up like de-aging, mate, when you lost all that weight. So you definitely look younger than you are. 37 to 42, Dougal. I'm all over that, mate. I think you could definitely. That's definitely a good ballpark for you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to tell anybody their playing age, but I just think the more specific you can be, just the better, basically. I mean, I obviously still play 18 to 21. Don't anyone tell me otherwise, right? I'm the exception. 18 to maybe I don't know. Maybe 21's a bit of a stretch. I think maybe 18 to 20, something like that. But yeah, let's get honest. Let's get honest with our playing ages. So that was the first clip I wanted to play out. Now, obviously, that's literally 2 minutes of an hour and 55 session. There's 2 other clips that I want to play out. These are only 2 minutes long as well. So I would highly recommend that you go over and watch the full replay if you really want to understand Andy, how he works, how his office works, and the sort of things he expects of you in order to get on his radar. This next one was a question that I get asked a lot, and I was glad, again, that Andy covered this. We had somebody asking about this notion or this word leveling up when it comes to doing TV work. So when you've done TV work that's generally the entry level work, where you might have been the day player on the serial dramas, and you might have done that a couple of times, so you've got a couple of episodes of Coronation Street under your belt, maybe 2 or 3 episodes of Hollyoaks and Emmerdale, maybe you've done a bit of a guest in Casualty or something like that, and people tend to see and I don't know if it's warranted, really, because I freaking love doing serial drama and really respect every actor in it. I think we got some absolutely stunning actors doing serial drama, but there's still a bit of a notion in the industry where people see drama as like a step up from serial drama, even though sometimes serial drama can be pretty much drama, depending on the storyline and what's going on. I know it's not all, an episode of Corrie isn't quite as heated as, as last night's Line of Duty. But sometimes the stakes are pretty high, depending on what storylines are going down. And this was a question, about going, listen, if I've got that on my reel, how do I sort of make that breakthrough so that casting directors who cast more of the drama will see me, and give me a shot. Andy's answer is really interesting to this. And ultimately, I think it kind of shows, again, it reiterates what a lot of guests talk about when it comes to kind of levels, and they're not really being any levels. It's like the way that you get work continues to be the way that you get work, regardless of what work you want to get. This might explain a bit more. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Your first responsibility is to be forensic with the script.
Yeah. In
terms of, is there...
No, I started playing the wrong clip. That was the wrong clip. That's going to be the next one. This is the leveling up clip. Don't get ahead of ourselves.
I've done quite a few of the soaps before over the last few years, which have been fabulous. But I feel like I really want to move up to the next level. And I wanted to ask if you've got any tips, if there's anything else I needed to do, if my show reel being with just soaps, is that going to be a problem?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I would go back to the same thing that I've said, is you go back, if you want to move up, I would suggest, and I'm saying this not having looked at your page, so I'm talking generally and generically about this. I would, if you're saying you want to, in your words, move up from that, go back to the material on your page. Does it warrant a bit of a refresh? Could you be better served by putting some additional material up there? Look at the material that's on there. Are you happy with it? Do you think it reflects you? And just because you have all those clips, if you're not happy with them, with one or more of them, get it off. Don't give anyone the chance to say, I'm not sure. If I looked at someone's CV and saw Emmerdale, Corrie, EastEnders, Emmerdale, Corrie, EastEnders, Casualty, I wouldn't go, oh, well, that rules her out completely. What I might want to look at, I'd want to look at your material the same as I'd want to look at anyone else's. And, again, if the work is honest and it's truthful and it's real and it's authentic, then that should open doors for you. We've all done what we've done, and all of us, even people like me, get put in our own pigeonhole. And to a degree, there is nothing we can do about that other than try and break out and go back to the material. Have a look at it. Are you really, really, really happy with it? If you're really, really happy with it, and you think it defies those labels of soapy drama and all of that, if you're really happy with it, get it out there to people.
Boom. Ultimately, the message is the same. If the work is good work that you are really, really happy with, get it out there. It literally can't be. There is no... I wish there was sometimes people just want a hack of there's a secret to getting a high level job. There's a secret to landing high, one of the top tier agents, etc. There is no hack. There is no secret bar being freaking brilliant and then putting that brilliance in front of people. It's literally that's all you can do. It's like sometimes it makes me laugh when people are wanting to get in shape and they're always looking for a hack. They want a keto diet, they want a pill, they want some home exercise equipment that basically, remember when there was that fad? that fad years ago. I don't know, do they still even make them? Where you bought that belt, it was like an electric belt that you put on and it gave you an electric shock in the stomach. So every 2 seconds it tensed up and you went like that, and then it'd like make you tense like you'd done a sit-up. So you were just sat there at home watching telly, but every 2 seconds going it was literally ridiculous. It's like people wanted a hack. They wanted to sit there eating crisps with an electric belt on that would electric shock them into a six-pack while they just ate a bag of chips. Just doesn't work. Ultimately, we know what gets you in shape. You just basically eat a really healthy, balanced diet and you work out and you exercise. That's it. It's really simple. And yet a load of people will sell you a load of shit and a load of these, these diets and these pills and detoxes. Have some green juice for 2 weeks and watch the weight drop off. Yeah, might do, but everything else will just go to shit in your body as well. And as soon as you stop doing that, you just put all the weight back on. The acting industry is exactly the same. Ultimately, to get further and to get better jobs and get up there, you need to do great work. And then it's dead simple, show that great work to people who cast more great work. I mean, that's it, really. I could probably just close Acts on this.tv down completely and just go, there you go. That's the message, basically. I won't do that, but that is, sometimes people need to hear this 1,000 times and they don't act on it until they've heard it 1,001 times, 1,002 times, or whatever. But yeah, that is it. There are really no levels in terms of going from this level to that level to this level to that level. Ultimately, just do good work and then show that good work to people who cast more good work. And you should generally always be doing good work. And I believe, my personal belief anyway, is that I believe great is really just good repeated. It's as simple as that. When you think of the world's greatest footballers, the world's greatest actors, they've never really started off absolutely great. They've just been good consistently, game after game after game, film after film after film after film. And they've just got this reputation for themselves. So they're just like, God, you know what? Yeah, I loved him in that film. Oh, yeah, I loved him in that film. Oh, scored 2 goals in that game. Oh, yeah, he helped us win that game. Blah, blah, blah. And then over, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, a decade, when someone's been good time and time and time again, we begin to think of them as great. So you just got to be good consistently and then get that out there relentlessly. So people cannot ignore you. And like Andy said in that first clip, he is only as good as the actors that he knows. So if he doesn't know you right now, why not? Why doesn't Andy Morgan know you? And he probably doesn't know you because you've never reached out to him, had the guts to, or felt you've had the material that he said there. He said only put stuff on your reel that you're sort of jumping for joy at having on there. Again, it doesn't mean that it has to be the most incredible production values in the world, but your performance should be good. And if you've got stuff on your reel where you're not jumping for joy, get it off, because less is definitely more. When it comes to just quality over quantity, your reel could easily be 2 scenes of just absolute class, or 1 scene of absolute class. It doesn't have to be 6-10 scenes. But I thought that was just quite an interesting question, because I think sometimes actors get in their own way by looking at the work they've done as not good enough yet. And I don't know if Alison was thinking that the work that she'd done on serial drama almost invalidated her for drama that would be classed, as a higher level of that or a higher production value or whatever. If she'd done great work and was really happy with performances, then don't shy away from that. Shout from the rooftops about it. You've got to remember how many people watch the soaps in terms of per episode. I'm sure consolidated figures, it's anywhere between sort of 3-5 million people watch some of the most popular soaps every episode. That's a lot of eyeballs on your work, and the casting department at these shows are not going to give that to shit actors a lot of the time. So take solace in that and believe in yourself. Be proud of your work, and if you're happy with it, like Andy said, freaking get it out there. Let's see what's going down in the comments. Let's have a look. Tamsin said, I have a question. I left drama school years ago, over 10. and took all of the credits off my spotlight as it was so long ago. Do you think it's worth popping some back on to show casting directors that things I was cast as when there? In drama school, I mean, to be honest, in the nicest way, I don't think anyone cares what shows you're in at drama school. They definitely want to know what you did since then, and if you've done TV, even if the TV was 5 or 10 years ago, I'd put the TV on, just leave the date out. What you were cast as in a show at drama school, I don't think people are that bothered about. If just to be completely blunt, just so you're not wasting your time. That's my opinion. Just my opinion. I wouldn't get hung up on it and think, I've got to put all these credits on just to flesh my CV out to make it look like I've done something. Depending on if you put dates on that, it depends on what you've done, Sam's, in between then and now. Because if you put that on, even if you don't put the dates, if there's dates of when you trained on your CV, because it will say like my spotlight says like 2002 to 2005, then they can put 2 and 2 together and they go, okay, if there's nothing since then, why not? I don't know. I don't think you need to worry about it. It's stuff that you've done since then, though, that you're really happy with. Definitely put that on. Without a doubt. What else is going on here? Everyone's still talking about ages and stuff. David said he's 59, but he could play 18 to 21 in the dark. I'm with you on that, David. I could definitely play 21 in the dark, in the pitch black. Right, what else is going on here? Harry says, I changed my whole reel and emailed... Oh, have you, Harry? And emailed it today. It has my Cumberbatch stuff on it. Would like to hear your thoughts when you get a chance. I'll watch that, Harry, definitely. I hope you've remembered, though, it's not Cumberbatch's reel. I hope there's more Harry Carr on it than there is Benedict Cumberbatch, because he don't need another job. He's got enough jobs. But I look forward to watching that, mate. Yeah, that's cool. Right, Ollie says, following the football analogy, it's worth noting that Harry Kane scored the most goals in a season, but also missed the most shots. I've seen basketball players say something similar. The difference is not how many wins, but how many shots. Do you know what, Ollie? That's so interesting in it as well. I've heard that as well. I don't know if it was Michael Jordan or something, scored the most hoops, but also missed the most crucial hoops as well. I don't understand basketball. I don't know the history of it. But yeah, because he had ended up taking more shots, he ended up sinking more. By default, people classed him as the greatest, even though actually he'd lost a lot of those defining moments as well, where it was like, right, you've got to take the winning shot, and he missed it. That is really interesting, isn't it? It really is the case. Definitely. It is great, really is just good, repeated, and also, without a doubt, staying in the game, taking the shots consistently. Definitely. Right, I've got one more clip to play from Mr. Morgan. What's this one? Oh, yeah, this is a classic. This was a conversation that do you know what? It can't really help me as well, because I think I have been guilty of this on the last couple of tapes that I know I have actually. In the last 2 tapes that I have had, I have absolutely been guilty of. We talked a lot about second guessing a director, or second guessing a casting director about what they want, and you can kind of read a bit too much into that. So you'll get a script and you'll be like, right, there's not an awful lot of kind of like info here. So you end up sort of second guessing what you think the casting director wants you to do with it, or what the director wants you to do with it. And what you end up doing is you end up not really doing what you would do with it normally, not doing exactly what you think they want from you, because you're making it up. So you end up sitting really between what they probably want and what you would have done with it. Does that kind of make sense? So you end up not being truly authentic in your performance, because you're a bit hung up on going, oh God, right, they probably want me to play it like this, as opposed to going, well, just how would Ross play it, or how would Lowry or David play it, etc. And we talk here about about not second guessing, but also in this clip as well, about being a human before you're the actor, basically. Not playing what you think they want a copper to be like, because I did that. That was in the cell tape, basically. Not playing what they want X, whatever you're playing, to be like what that person would be. Well, before that person's a copper, that person is a human being. Before they're a lollipop man, whatever it is, just random. It's like actually that person's a human being. And sometimes when the material doesn't give you a lot of backstory or a lot of information to go on, then you can kind of, create that for yourself, as long as it's not going to distract from the scene. I'm probably not explaining it as well as Andy, but I just thought this was a really interesting bit of info for the next time you're doing a self-tape, because this definitely cleared up, quite a bit for me in my head about how I'm going to approach the next tape that I get. So enjoy this. Back in 2 minutes.
Your first responsibility is to be forensic with the script.
Yeah.
In terms of, is there, let's call your character Joe.
Okay.
To be forensic, is there anything in the script, either before, during, or after my scenes, that tells me anything that I need to know about Joe? Okay? If there is, you gather that information. And if, as you say, there's not a lot to go on, the actor feels the framework isn't there, then it's your job to build that framework.
Yeah.
To create that backstory. What do you need as the actor to have a sense of who Joe is when there's very little information on the page?
Yep.
And it is about, is he married? Is he single? Where does he live? How many brothers and sisters has he got? Is he estranged? Is he close to his family? Is he estranged from his family? Is his financial life, is it stable? Is it whatever? The list could go on and on and on and on. And as long as all of that information doesn't unbalance the scene, doesn't contradict the scene, it just gives you, it is my belief that an actor cannot play a scene without some semblance of a backstory. What everyone in that room wants to see is your Joe.
Yeah.
Everyone in that room understands that you're not telepathic, and if you had access to our heads, you would know and you would understand and believe that we don't have a set, rigid idea of who Joe is in our heads. Every director worth their salt is going to look at every actor coming in the room, and as long as the work is honest and it's truthful and it's authentic, they've got a fighting chance. I've done lots of major cop shows.
Yeah.
No one is looking for a copper.
Yeah. What they're looking for more of a person.
I'll tell you what I'm looking for is a human being.
Boom. If the work is honest, truthful, and authentic, he says there, the actor has a fighting chance. And I think sometimes when you're second guessing what a director might want, then you're not being honest, truthful, and authentic to yourself. Thus, you lose that fighting chance. But that's something that to be honest, I know I've sort of fallen a cropper of in the last couple of tapes that I've done, because the roles haven't been massive. They were for decent shows, really good shows. One of them was for an incredible show. But it was only 2 scenes. Didn't have a lot of dialogue. Probably had about 6 lines, and I did not make up any semblance of a backstory whatsoever. Just to be completely honest with you, I was like, right, this looks relatively straightforward dialogue. It could be played in many different ways. Oh God, how do you think they want it? Right, as opposed to just right, how's Ross going to play it truthfully and honestly and authentically? Because the director might not have a fixed idea, or is unlikely to have a fixed idea of exactly how this should be played. They just want to see it, like Andy said, truthful, honest, and authentic. And I made up absolutely no backstory whatsoever. I still don't think the performance wasn't shit. It was still capable, but I can see why I didn't get the job, because it was just, solid, but I don't know, maybe somebody else just had that little more authenticity or that little more honesty within their performance, or just did a little bit more work, on that backstory. So I just thought that was interesting, because I think sometimes we just don't do that. We sort of almost dumb down the smaller parts to a certain degree, where we go, I probably don't need to do that work sometimes. And I've definitely, sort of felt like that, because it's that balance in it. You don't want to, when you're playing those smaller roles, you're certainly not there to steal the show or do something massive. You are very much there in many cases to procedurally carry the show along, to simply deliver some information and get out of there. But Andy used an example that was quite interesting in the chat. He said he was casting coppers recently, and again, not a huge role, but it was a copper dealing with a paedophile. And he asked every actor who came in as the character got kids, and he said no actor could answer that question because none of them had thought about it. Now, if you're a copper and you've got kids, that's going to make your behavior any behavior towards a paedophile is not going to be, great behavior towards them, are you? You're not going to like that person. But if you've got kids, you're probably going to detest them more because you would know what that would feel like if that person had been, messing with your kids, as opposed to if you haven't got kids. Yes, it's still horrific, but maybe you can't quite put yourself in the place of a parent because you just don't know until you're a parent. So it was interesting that none of the actors that he saw or came in for that had worked that out in their head for any semblance of a backstory. So, I just thought it was an interesting one. Andy was just on fire the other night. He was just so good. And that's literally, you've just seen 6 minutes of an hour and 55. Go and watch the full hour and 55-minute show on actsonthis.tv. Again, if you get over, you members who are in the members area, you'll find that there. If you're not a member, you can watch a little 2-minute trailer. If I come out of here, I'll show you where that is. If you literally just click on preview features at the top of the site, you can go and watch previews of every feature we do. We do one of these every single week with a top casting director, top agent, a top actor, top writer, top producer. You can go and watch trailers of all of them. There's literally 400 hours within the members area, though. Get yourself a membership. It'll cost you the price of a couple of lattes a week, and it'll probably change your acting career. I get emails from people every week saying that is the case. So that's just a little bit of Mr. Andy Morgan. Let's go through some comments. Sammy says, this advice is so good. It's exactly what I needed to hear filming this weekend. Sammy, I'm very glad you came across the broadcast tonight. Tresor says, question, what do you do to progress your career as an actor? How long is a piece of string? Ultimately, you can break it down very simply, Tresor, if I'm saying your name properly, into, like what I said before, right? The job of an actor ultimately in this industry is to do great work, which is either going to be work that you are paid to do by other people, work that you create on your own if you're creating your own short films, or you're shooting your own self-tapes, or you're getting showreel scenes shot from scratch, to create great work based very heavily on your casting type, so understanding who you are as an actor, your strengths, where you fit into this industry. So filming great work that really plays to your strengths. And then when you fit where you fit into the industry, you'll know which kind of shows in the industry would suit you, your casting type. And then you find the casting directors for those shows or casting directors for those types of shows. And then you put that great work you've already done in front of those casting directors to have a shot at auditioning for further great work. It's really straightforward when you look at it as a business, but the biggest mistakes actors make is not understanding themselves. So they don't know, just real basic stuff like their casting type, their playing age, the kind of characters that they would be seen for at the level they're at in their career. If you're just starting out, you're not going to walk into, DC Arnott's character in Line of Duty. Martin Compton's been around a long time. You're probably not going to get his job straight off the bat, even though people just expect something like that to happen. So you've got to be tactical, know where you would fit and the roles that you'll be playing right now. And then target those, market yourself properly. You are a product. When you really know your product, you can put it in front of prospective customers who would be the casting directors. And if you put it in front of them in such a way, which is what we talk about on actsonthis.tv every single week. There's literally 400 hours worth of info in the members area from the biggest casting directors in the game who explain in detail every week what they want from actors. Then you'll start having little breakthroughs, as people in the community do, all the time. Lawrence Russell is on EastEnders tomorrow night, guys. He's a member of actsonthis.tv. We'll give him a little shout out when that's out. But yeah, and this is what we do. Basically, and then you rinse and repeat again and again and again, and you don't stop until you get where you want to go. And sometimes people drop out just as they were about to have a little breakthrough or get somewhere because they just can't hack it. And it isn't for everybody. If you are torturing yourself in this industry and you hate the process and you hate everything about it, and you're hanging on to thinking you're going to be happy if you just get that one job, you won't be, because jobs don't last forever. You've really got to have a real word with yourself about what you want, why you're in this, because you'd be daft to be in it if you don't want to be in this industry, really want to be in this industry. But yeah, I mean, it's so difficult to say, like, how do you progress? I mean, ultimately, you do great work and you put that great work in front of people who cast, more great work. Let's have a look. Phil says, your videos inspire me, but still haven't figured out. So yeah, so Phil, mate, I got your email. I've not had a chance to reply yet, but yeah, when people, it's very normal for people to feel like they are treading water or they're just not getting the opportunities that they want to get. I often have felt like that in my career multiple times. I've been so close on 2 occasions to getting jobs that literally would have changed my life. And I mean in a massive way as well, like financially and just in terms of the career trajectory. I mean, really would have changed my life. And I haven't got them. I got down to like the last 2 on both occasions and they went with the other guy. And sometimes you do go, God, like when is something going to happen? But me personally, I don't know, I'm a bit weird. I can't walk away. I'm a bit sort of like stubborn like that. I'm like, I just know it's going to happen at some point. I'm going to put myself in a position where it's going to happen as well. I want to create my own stuff as well. I'm really happy kind of with the process of just creating stuff. But I know it can feel, it can feel bad. So when you are in a bit of a rut, my advice is to change one thing at a time. A lot of people, when they're in a rut, they want to almost like do a 1080 degree turn on the steering wheel and start going back in a different direction, or 90 degrees and go off here, and they want to change everything up and they go, right, it's a bit like New Year's when people get fed up with their lifestyle and they go, right, that's it. Nothing's working for me. So from New Year's Day, 1st of January, I'm getting up at 6:30. I'm working out. I'm drinking green smoothies. I'm journaling. I'm meditating. All this stuff. And they want to change everything all at once. And then they realize like 3 or 4 days down the line that they're so burnt out, it's impossible. They feel even worse than they did a few days before. And so I would prefer to put your hands back on the steering wheel and just turn it 5 degrees to the right and go, right, okay, I'm now going to do something different, something I've never done before for the next 30 days. And that 5 degree shift to the right after 30 days puts you in a very different destination where you were going to go to had you not changed direction just that little bit. So it might be a matter of going, right, to get reinvigorated with my own career. So I want to start sending more stuff out, or I want to be proud of my work and enthused to get it in front of people. It might be that you just go, right, well, you know what? The reel that I've got, I've actually never really been happy with it. It's all right. It's kind of been okay. But like Andy said there, if you are not jumping for joy at everything on your reel, take it off. Never, ever, ever when you're introducing yourself to casting directors for the first time, have anything on that reel that could be the thing that means that they don't want to see more of you effectively. So for me, sometimes I've gone, right, I need to film a new show reel scene. Or if I've been on a TV show, I'm like, right, I need to get that footage. That's the next thing. And I'm going to take this piece out of my show reel, put that in, and we're going to rejig it. And then I'm going to be enthused to get it out there again. It might be new headshots because you go, you know what? I just need a bit of an injection of motivation. So I'm going to get some new headshots. No, my headshots done in 18 months. Let's get some new headshots. And that's a reason to do a mail out. Maybe you just do a show reel edit. Lots of different things. Maybe you go and do a few more workshops. You network with a few more people. You get a group of friends together and you create a micro short. I know Ollie Devotee in the Acts on This community today, I saw him putting some stuff out saying he started shooting a micro short today that he'd always wanted to do, his own project. So it could be that. And it's falling in love with that process again. And then that gives you the impetus to go, right, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there again, and I'm gonna really be focused on who it is I'm targeting. I'm not gonna do just a blanket mail out of 50 casting directors who I don't really know anything about. Really get focused on where you fit, your casting type. There is no point in wanting to play against type when you've not got loads of TV credits under your belt. Embrace who you are. You're gonna get cast for who you are, not who you can be. So a lot of people who are like, we had a great example. I don't know if Joe's here, but she won't mind me saying she was getting frustrated a few months ago for just not being seen for serial drama. for some stuff, and she's perfect. When you look at her, I was like, wow, okay, you would be perfect midwife material, carer, social worker. You know, these roles that are like kind, caring, matriarchal figures that come up in soap opera all the freaking time. Like every month at least, there's a midwife knocking around or a nurse or something like that. And I was like, right, okay, that is perfect for you. I don't know why you're not being seen either, because you can act and you're absolutely perfect for that. You know, you just look stereotypically like that kind of person. I was like, what does your show reel open up with? She went, I'm a bit frustrated because I've been doing student films and I've only managed to get footage from one, and it's me playing a homeless person. And I'm like, oh, right, this is why. If your casting type is screaming matriarchal, you know, midwife, could even be, going for call the midwife or something like that, then you send in a show reel of one scene playing a homeless person. I didn't ever see that scene, but I'm like, that's not conducive for your casting type. You took that job. I know why you took it, because you wanted some footage. Beggars can't be choosers. You got involved in a student film and you got cast as something that you wouldn't get cast as in the industry, but the students, maybe because they don't understand casting yet or they had no choice, put you in this role. Now that's all you've got to work with, and it's so off your casting type that's why you're not being cast in these roles that you could do all day long. So you've got to get tactical, and if you need to, you're going to have to go and shoot something that's custom and bespoke for yourself. But I think if you are, Phil, if you sort of like you're feeling a bit shit, mate, because you're like, right, just there's nothing going on, then I think just that you have to have a look at your shop window, as Andy said in that broadcast, and go, right, what is my shop window looking like? Is it conducive? Is it congruent with me, my casting type? Am I very happy with my performances in each of these scenes? Do I need to get something new shot? Are my headshots all right? Do I need to get a new something new done? And then just have that. Just have that sort of, that injection of motivation to go, right, come on, let's go again. Because there is stuff, I can't tell you how busy the industry is. In the last week, I've been asked to do 3 read-throughs for top TV shows. I couldn't even make it to 2 because they were all clashing with each other. I've got one on the 27th, a new BBC detective thing. But there's so much stuff like going into production now that would have been cast, over the last few months when everybody's still saying to each other, oh, it's quiet, isn't it? Nope, absolutely not. And if your agent's saying it's quiet, it's not quiet. They're not working hard enough. Like, there's opportunities out there. There's an abundance of them, and it's not going to stop. One thing we've learned in lockdown is the absolute appetite for content. Shows and channels. Remember at the start of lockdown where channels were running out? They had, because the filming was slower, particularly the soaps and stuff. Before they went back, like, we just ran out of stuff to show. So the industry is going to just pick up more and more and more. We're doing incredibly well. It's still horrendous. There was 4 deaths today. That's 4 too many. But when you think there was 1,000 COVID deaths a day a few months ago, we're getting things under control. It's still horrific for the 4 families who lost somebody today. But it shows that we're getting on top of this situation now. So there is going to be more and more opportunity out there. So getting that shop window together and getting it right is really important right now. Definitely. Let's have a look. What are you saying there, Jill? I don't know what you're saying. There's no such thing to you, but you said I have 5 jobs today on my acting career. Jill, you're a hustler. I love it. 5 jobs. Jill, 5 jobs is what we're going to call you from now on. Harry says, Ross, I cut the reel up with my own scenes. I filmed with a good filmmaker. I have put Courier in. That's the film. I have a small part and the scene is bitty, but to not use it at all, I think would be a shame. No, you said you've got. You said you got. Have you got like a line or 2 lines, Harry? Definitely, you've got to put that in, mate. If you've got, a couple of lines in a really well shot film. Absolutely, that has to be in there. It just depends where they come up in the scene, mate, and then you're going to want to cut them at an appropriate point, if it's your reel. It's like when I had that scene with Peter Capaldi and Juliet Stevenson. I was like, these are 2 great actors, one of my first jobs. Cracking job for one of my first jobs. And I fell into the trap when I initially edited that reel of just giving them loads of screen time. So it was all Peter and Juliet. And then, I mean, I probably had like, 8-10 lines in that, but I ended up giving them way more screen time. And it was Chris Stone who said to me, Ross, why have you done this? This is not Peter Capaldi's show reel. And in my head, I was like, no, but I'm showing that I've acted opposite a great name. And you can do that in a few seconds. It didn't have to be a whole diatribe of Peter Capaldi there giving his spiel before I got to speak. So I've not seen it yet, mate, but it would just be edits like that. You've just got to make sure that you are the focal point, even if you're with a big star. Make sure that it focuses on you as much as possible, even if it means Chris did an edit for me where he was very clever. There was no music on my scene, so he actually cut Peter and Juliet out quite a bit more, and the lines still made sense, but we cut them out to make it more balanced, so that I sort of shared more screen time. But I watched that, mate. No problem. Brendan says he was penciled by Shakira Dowling for a national campaign, being a nurse. Brendan, you're a bloody nurse. It's perfect for you. The director decided not to use me. He said I looked too sophisticated to be a nurse. That's so ironic, because Brendan's a freaking nurse. Brendan, that's funny. Did you tell him? I'd have definitely sent an email back saying, listen, thank you so much for the compliment, but I don't know what you think nurses should look like, but I am a nurse. Thanks ever so much. Let's have a look. Alicia said she'll cover read for me. Alicia, they wanted someone to read all the male roles, unfortunately. So unfortunately you couldn't have done that. Although I don't know, nowadays maybe they'll just be like anyone can read anything. So might always be worth shouting up. Lorraine says I can't wait to film my showreel. Lorraine, your comment's gone with Chris in June. You shoot me, Chris, wicked. And excited to see what he writes for my casting type. Yeah, Chris Stone, showreels.com. I don't get any commission. I definitely freaking should do. But if you want to get custom showreels shot, have a look at Chris's stuff. I love it. And Brendan says he's moved on. Move on from that, Brendan. If they don't want a real nurse playing a real nurse, just forget it. I don't know what they freaking want these days. Right, tomorrow night, I've got an absolute treat for members of actonthis.tv. We're doing another live mastermind session. Like I said, folks, if you don't know what we do this every single week. I host a private Zoom session that you can all jump on with a top casting director, a top agent, a top actor, a writer, a producer, or an exec. And we chew the fat openly and honestly about what it takes to get in the room with the casting directors, to work with the directors, to emulate the careers of the actors. We get top people. Tomorrow night is no exception. We've got Olivier Award-winning actor Mr. Mike Gibson in the house tomorrow night. Very excited to chat to this guy. I jumped on a little test call with Mike that was supposed to be for 10 minutes. We chatted for nearly an hour and a half. Is incredibly, very much on the same page as me when it comes to just asking for shit, breaking boundaries. Ambition. I think ambition is going to be almost like the buzzword for tomorrow night. Mike started out I don't even want to say lucky. Maybe there was a bit of luck involved in it. Straight after graduating drama school, he landed the lead role in the Madness musical Our House. Very untypical when you leave drama school. He also broke a world record during that show for the number of complete costume changes in a musical production. Literally a Guinness World Record. But he very quickly became established as the golden boy of musical theatre. And he was like, I don't want to be the golden boy of musical theatre. I don't want this label. I'm so much more than that. I want to do TV. I want to do film. I want to do classical theatre. I want to do contemporary theatre. I don't want to be put in, as it's overused, isn't it? The analogy in the phrase "put in a box." But he was like, I'm being put in a box here. I don't want to be in that box. And he managed to break out of it. And he's been super successful, literally across all genres. He won. He went back to musical theatre. He was the original King George III in the original West End cast of Hamilton. He won the Olivier Award for that. But he's equally, he's just shot some great TV shows. He's going to be in upcoming The Barking Murders. He did, what's it called? Last Night in Soho, is it? I might have that wrong. It's a Matt Smith film. That's coming out. He was in Quiz, ITV's Quiz recently, which was the scandal on the major, what was his name? The guy who cheated on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Fantastic show, though. He was in that. He's just had an incredible career, and he's just a freaking go-getter. And I just think it's going to be a super inspiring chat. But he's also struggled with mindset and psychology, and I don't know the ins and outs of that. But he says he wants to talk a lot about overcoming anxiety and overcoming your own shit, basically, your own demons around this industry, both in and out of it. So we're going to go pretty deep on mindset, I imagine, as well. Just an incredible guy. That's going to be tomorrow night. Here's a little trailer of Mike and what he wants to talk about. I think he also wants to go over some absolute... I was talking about hacks before and people want hacks. I think he has got some genuine hacks for line learning. I know there's people who are like, how do I just learn lines for auditions and self-tapes quickly? I think he wants to talk about that as well. But this is Mike, and this is going on tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live. If you're not a member, get your membership now, and you can join us on this call. Actors, these just keep on coming. I am back with another invite for you guys to another incredible actonthis.tv live online mastermind session. This time it's taking place on Tuesday, the 20th of April at 7:30 p.m. with this amazing guy here, Olivier award-winning actor, the original West End King George III in Hamilton and star of so many other stage, film and TV shows. It's Michael Gibson. Mike, I'm proper excited to chat, mate. What are we going to be covering on Tuesday night?
Okay, so on Tuesday night I'm going to talk a bit about what I do as an actor, covering all the bases of theatre, that being classical theatre, straight theatre, musical theatre, moving over to, TV and film. Might talk a bit about how TV and film has changed over the years.
Yeah.
In terms of from a casting point of view. And just generally talking about some of the things that I've been up to and maybe a couple of cool anecdotes as well.
I love it. I don't know another actor who's worked across so many different mediums and genres like so successfully. Actors, if you want to get involved in this, you want to literally jump on camera, have a one-to-one with Mike, talk to us about auditions, casting, anything at all that we can help you with that's going to help you get further in your acting career faster. Get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details of this session and all future sessions. We do this every single week with a top actor, agent, casting director, writer, producer. Just top people, basically. Actonthis.tv/live for that. And Mike, little bit of pressure on you. I ask every guest this on these trailers. Why don't actors want to miss this one in particular?
Because I'm going to talk about the casting difference between theatre, musical theatre, TV and film, and the preparation that I think actors need to bring to that situation. And also I'd like to share some tips about how to learn lines quickly when one is under pressure, whether it be for a casting or for a job.
Yeah, and this guy's had a lot of lines. If you want to get involved, like I say, actonthis.tv/live. We'll see you there. Boom, actonthis.tv/live if you want to take part in that. And I love the way at the end there, he gave like a really like in-depth answer. Why don't you want to miss it? Normally like people on the trailers will just go, because I'm going to get drunk. He was really he takes it really seriously. He wants to bring a lot of value tomorrow night. He's like, right, I'm going to talk about the casting between, the differences between all those genres of casting, how you prepare for each. I know there's a lot of actors in this community. This is the TV Actors Network, so we focus on TV, but I know there's a lot of multifaceted actors in this community who want to do their own theatre stuff, as well as contemporary, classical, as well as film and TV. So Mike's one of the first guests we've got on. He's really hammered all of those genres, and can really go into detail on prep required to crush each of those sectors. Sandra, have you got to go? It says got to go and do a Zoom. Nice one, Sandra, thanks for being here. Say hello to Tony. I think that's who she's doing the Zoom with. Nice one. So yeah, that's learning lines quickly, says Yvonne. I'll be there. Honestly, I think it's just be a really, really interesting one. Very different kind of session as well. But I do want to hear more on Mike and mindset as well, because just talking to him on, I think it was Saturday when we did the trailer, you can sense the confidence in a person, not arrogance, just like real confidence and just honestly ambition is like tangible when you're talking to him. The belief that he has in himself to just succeed, it's like there's just no doubt there. And I think that's what's made him successful. Like I say, it's not an arrogance, it's just an absolute true lovely, authentic confidence. So, going to be a cracking session. But yeah, actsonthis.tv/live if you want to be involved with that. And that's about it. I'll wrap it up, folks. But let me know in the comments what if you've got anything else you wanna say, or forever hold your peace. Let me know if you're going to be there tomorrow night. Brendan, we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for being here, mate. Let's have a look. If there's any other comments down here, and those people on the audio experience, thank you for listening this far. Do tweet me. Let me know if you caught up on the replay. Maya, not Maya. I always say Maya. It's when we were talking about reels before and like putting famous people in, and when it's not their reel. That's funny. She says, I have a similar thing where I kiss Kate Winslet in a cafe in the film Iris, and then I walk out passing Jim Broadbent, and I put that in my show reel for the reason of who they were, and I thought it would look awesome. But one casting director I did some coaching with said he wondered why I put that scene in my show reel, as he said he was watching me and didn't realise who they were. Sit in it. Sometimes you just don't. Yeah, I don't know. You got to remember that it's your reel. Let the focus be on you, not on the famous people, because Jim Broadbent and Kate Winslet do not need any more help getting parts. Rich says he can't make this live show tomorrow, but we'll be viewing the replay. Rich, we will let you off because you're on a completely different time zone, mate. He's just going to be tanning himself on Ocean Drive in Miami. I think, like, literally, that's not even a joke, is it? When I FaceTimed you, remember when I FaceTimed you? I FaceTimed Rich to get me some Pokemon cards from America because I'm a total loser. And I FaceTimed him. It was funny. I can't believe, honestly, you must have thought, what a knobhead. It was the Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl night, and Rich was out in a bar on Ocean Drive. I'm sure it was, wasn't it, Rich? In Miami, on Super Bowl night. And he even said to me, because he's so nice and so kind, he went, can I possibly go tomorrow? Because it's Super Bowl. Like, Rich, you can go in a week, mate. I'm not bothered. I wasn't saying go now. But Rich, mate, you delivered the goods, man. I'm forever grateful. He got me the limited edition McDonald's American Pokemon cards. Yes. Oh, Lorraine. Just a little shout out, and then I will definitely leave you guys to go. Lorraine has put inside the Acts on This Facebook group a fundraiser that I'm a patron of a charity called Once Upon a Smile, an incredible charity that Danny Millay plays Aaron Dingle in Emmerdale founded along with Daniel Gillings, and it's a children, like a family bereavement charity, one of the most seriously wonderful organizations I've ever had the privilege of working with. They're just incredible, and they're not government funded or anything like that. They raise all their money via private sort of balls that they couldn't do over the last couple of years because of COVID, and fundraising events and people running marathons and climbs and that. And Lorraine is doing a charity run. Have you committed? Is it 200 kilometers you've committed to doing, Lorraine, over the next few weeks? And she's put a GoFundMe fundraiser page in the Acts on This Facebook group. I will definitely be donating to it, Lorraine. Keep us posted on your progress. But if any members of Acts on This or anyone in the community has got any value from me ever, please throw a couple of quid in the pot. It just goes to such an incredible charity. I mean, literally supporting people when kids who have lost siblings or parents who have lost kids. It supported a load of families from the Manchester Arena attack, who lost children in that attack. It's just like one of the most humbling places you'll ever go to. One of the most inspiring places. Just love the place. So yeah, check out Lorraine's post in the Facebook group, and if you could throw £1 in or £2 or something like that, it would mean the world. Martin's got a 12-hour shoot tomorrow, so he's off. I have not got a 12-hour shoot tomorrow, Martin, but I'm off as well. What can I play you guys to leave with? For those who weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to play Getting on Andy Morgan's Radar again, because I just love what he says about reaching out to casting directors and how every casting director should be expecting you to reach out, because casting directors are only as good as the actors that they know. If you want to watch the full 2-hour chat, hour and 55-minute chat with Andy Morgan, actsonthis.tv, get your membership. Get yourself over to actsonthis.tv/live. Check out the schedule for the upcoming mastermind sessions. We've got some incredible guests coming up, and I will see you guys tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m, with Olivier award-winning actor, Mr. Mike Gibson. Until then, lots of love to everybody. Thanks for being here. Bye for now. What are potential ways to pique your interest without being a stalker and just sort of like overbearing and doing your head in, really?
Before you reach out to anyone, then you have to make sure that your shop window is in pretty tip-top condition, and the chances are at this point your shop window is your spotlight page.
Yeah.
And you have to think of your spotlight page in terms of someone looking at it for the very first time, not knowing you, never having met you. So do your photographs look like you? Are they 15 years old? Have they been through Photoshop 3,000 times? You know, all I want from a photograph is I want it to look like the actor. My personal preference is for playing age to be within a 5-year bracket. Make sure it's clear on there what your native dialect is. You know, don't put 5 native dialects, because then I don't know who you are. Gone are the days when actors could only have a show reel if they had material that had been transmitted on television. We have things called iPhones now, and I've seen actors do extraordinary pieces of work in their kitchen. And I would say to actors, never, ever, ever put anything up, any tape up on your spotlight page that you are not anything other than jumping up and down about. You only want us to see you at your best, especially if it's an introduction. This is how you get on people's radars. You mail us.
Yep.
And any casting director who says they don't want unsolicited stuff, we are only as good as the actors that we know.